Today we're going to be talking about Ufw, which is a firewall tool used to edit the IP tables on your machines. Ufw is mainly used to simply allow you to block down a particular server so that people can't access or port scan your server. This is becoming more and more of an issue lately. There's websites like Grey Noise that allow you to kind of see what's being scanned on the internet. Even if you look at your syslog 0 web server that's up and running, you'll see every once in a while people try to hit you with stuff. Ufw basically will sit in front of there and reject all those connections depending on how you have it locked down. So basically I'm going to walk you through how to do this, and at the end of this video you should simply be able to edit your IP tables using Ufw and allow yourself to really lock down servers and allow connections from specific servers, or only allow incoming connections on particular ports like 80, 443, and 22. So let's jump right in. So as you can see here, I'm on my local machine. I have two different terminals. We have a machine called Vibe on my local server, which I'm able to connect through Tailscale. If you guys are interested about a demo for Tailscale, which is a distributed point-to-point VPN, which allows you to SSH to different boxes located all over the world with simple SSH, and it creates a local, a private network on their service. It's super great. If you're interested about that, leave a comment below. We can do a video about that. Today we're going to be focusing on Ufw, which is a firewall tool that edits your IP tables. So as you all know, default port for SSH and on the box Vibe is port 22. So today we're going to be basically logging into this server, locking it down so no one can access it, and allowing it to have SSH access so that we can allow the servers to have that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to SSH onto this box. It's going to use the Tailscale network, and as you can see, it connected through port 22. Let me just pull that back here so you guys can see that. That's the port. Let me see here. Yep, Vibe 22, right? And that's my username there. So great. So we're able to successfully get onto that box. We're gonna sudo into root here, just so we don't have to constantly type sudo before the commands. We're doing a Ufw. This is because you're editing IP tables, so you need to have root access. So we're just gonna go Ufw app list. And you'll see that we have one service that's installed here. I'm also going to just install Nginx just for the sake of showing you guys that these definitions come as you install things. So that'll take a second here. The good thing about it is that these apps will be listed as soon as you install them, and then next time we run app list, you'll see it there, so you can reference them by name, and it's pretty cool actually. So we're going to go Ufw app list. And you'll see now that Nginx, both for HTTP and HTTPS and full, are available, which is quite nice. So it makes it quite easy. So the first thing you're going to do when you're doing this sort of thing is you're going to lock down the incoming connection. So basically you're going to say no more connections that are incoming to this box from now on. So I'm going to paste that in here, and it's blocked. So then you're done. So then basically all you have to do is go Ufw enable. Yep, it may interrupt connections that we have. So currently we're on SSH. My experience is that this doesn't do anything. If you're already on the machine, it's going to block all future incoming connections. So I've never seen this burn me before, but you got to be very careful in services where you don't have access, or VNC access, or some other way to get to the terminal without doing SSH. But in this case, we're okay. So I'm going to say yes. And as you can see, we've enabled the firewall and it's active. So if we go Ufw status, you'll see that it's active. Now we're going to try the same thing we did before, now with the firewall enabled on port 22. For whatever reason, it's not working. So what if we did this? What if we did Ufw Allow Open Ssh, which was the name of what the service we had above. As soon as we do that, we've added the rules, which should allow the connection. It should pretty soon allow that SSH thing to go through as soon as it retries. And as you can see, it went right through. So right now we've successfully locked down our server, and it can only be accessed on port 22. So let's allow all outgoing as well. Some places don't like this. I've locked down servers that work in a way that they don't allow all outgoing connections, but things with web services and whatnot, you want your server to be able to reach out to the internet. So we've put that default role in place now, and as you can see, it seems to be working pretty well. So now that we have everything locked down and we've allowed SSH, we're in a spot now where we can kind of do more things. So let's say we wanted to lock down a specific thing to a specific port, for example, right? What if we only wanted connections from a particular machine? So let's back out of here. Let's just give this an ls. Oh, not that. Force a habit. We'll go ipconfig, right? Or ifconfig. Got my OS's confused. Actually, the machine we're on here, you want to kind of look here, ipconfig. You'll see that our IP for this machine, aside from all these other ones that are set up for tailscale, you'll see that our IP is 192.168.1.44. So we're going to allow connections Ufw allow from that specific port, which means that anything coming from this port is allowed to get through on this server. So we're simply going to go back now. We're going to disable the Open SSH rule. So right now we can still SSH into Vibe. Great. Now we're going to go back here. We're going to go Ufw Disable Open SSH. There's disallow. The terming here is kind of, I think it's disallow. Nope. Okay, let's go back here then. List. Status. So you'll see here, what I was trying to show you is that we're allowed to SSH, we're allowed to do anything on this box from this IP, which is the machine that I'm on here. So let me just quickly look up how to disable this here. I think it's deny is this terminology. Okay, so Ufw deny open SSH. Great, now the rule's been updated. So if we go back to Ufw status, you'll see that all those are still denied now, and we're on that port on that machine, and we're allowed to connect. So let's just try that now. SSH Vibe, and right now there's no SSH rule for anybody enabled, but only for my machine for anything. So we're gonna try that and see that it works. So I managed to figure out what was going on here. So there's a couple of issues here. So I removed a couple other references that we added for the IPs on the allow side. But as you can see here, we're denying on open SSH ports. We didn't disable it. We're actively going from allow to block, which is why it's not allowing us. So the combination of these rules is basically allow any machine connecting from this port to have access to all ports except for open SSH on either IPv4 or IPv6. So what we actually need to do is delete, which gives us an opportunity to kind of give you and show you something else. So we have them numbered. So it's going to be Ufw delete 1. It's going to say yeah. I'm going to say yes. And then I'm going to go Ufw delete 2. So these numbers shift up. Anywhere will be at 1 now, and this will be at 2. So we're going to delete 2. It says yeah, deny open SSH. Absolutely. We're going to delete it. And as you can see here, we should be able to SSH to Vibe now, since it's the rule that's being shared there, is allow anything from this port. Now, if I were to go to another machine, so we're going to exit out of here, SSH into Edge, which is another machine on my mobile network, which should also have access to Vibe through the Tailscale network, you'll see that it's denied. Now, I can simply do the same thing here, go to the Edge, and then I can just go again, add the IP for Edge into the mix here, and it should say yes, I'd like to connect, and allow us in. So great. So now you've basically gone through the flow of setting up and locking down machines to a specific box or to specific ports or services, which is pretty awesome. You can delete rules by giving it also a name. So let's add back in Ufw Allow Open SSH, and then if you go Ufw status, you'll see that now those boxes can connect from anywhere and whatnot. Now we can also, I believe we could do this. So if we go Ufw delete allow, and then we give it the name anywhere, it should delete. No, it didn't delete it. So we're gonna have to take the same numbered method. So we're gonna go Ufw delete 1, Yep. Ufw delete 2. Nope, not that one. Delete 1 again. Yep. Ufw status. And you can see that it still allows those ports there, and we have those things now. So what we could do is we can go Ufw delete. And those are for named things. So anywhere isn't a named one, it's for a specific IP. You can go Ufw delete allow open SSH, and those rules will be gone as well. And then we're back to a fully locked down machine, and we wouldn't be able to SSH into Vibe any longer without going Ufw allow open SSH, and then it'll eventually connect. So that's pretty much it. So you can use that with bunch of permutations of things. You can also do things like Ufw allow HTTP, which is port 80. So we're gonna go Ufw status verbose, which allows you to get things up like Nginx connecting and whatnot. You could do the same thing for Nginx, like we said before. Ufw allow Nginx full. That's weird. The names are kind of painful. Let's see. Ufw list. Ufw app list. Yeah, you need to put it in quotes if there's spaces. So you'll see that it then allowed installed what was the apps that it has, and if you go to status verbose, it allowed TCP 8443, 8443 on IPv6 as well. So yeah, and now you've fully reset your services, and if you just want to reset them, you just go Ufw Reset. Yep, it'll do all the statuses and remove all of them. It moves them to backup folders if you want to re-enable them later on. And if you want to look at that it worked, you'll go Ufw status and everything's inactive. And by resetting, it disables all the rules. So we can SSH back into the machine again without any issues. And there you go. So I hope this tutorial was helpful to you to understand how to lock down your servers and allow you to really have best practices enabled when you're setting up servers that are sitting on the open internet. If you guys are curious about Tailscale and what you can and can't do with it, leave a comment below and I'd love to do a video for you guys. Until next time, see you soon. Bye.